Hello, so I'm really glad I did this extra credit because the podcast was really interesting. I thought it was interesting where you talked about the revising part into the research because in Com 3010 we had professors come in, I think it was like 2 or 3, but they were telling us about what they were researching, and they also, one of them talked about the revising part, but they didn't really go into depth with it. So whenever you did, that was really interesting to be able to understand it better. Also, everything you talked about, like the misinformation, was really cool because I obviously already know about this information because you taught it to us in our lectures. So it was very different going into the podcast already kind of knowing about this material versus like me showing up to a lecture and not knowing about it. So having some background on this and listening to the podcast was actually really interesting. I really liked the part where you were talking about how, what was it? On social media, you were talking about how like a bunch of people are authors, which is actually really true. Like how you were talking about how it would be very miserable for us to like open up social media every day, like just looking to see what is like fake news. Like, I don't really think people have that mindset. I think a lot of people, we just kind of usually suspect things to be true, and then if something does kind of sound iffy, then we're kind of like maybe that's not too true. But I was thinking about how I was going through some stories on Instagram one day, and it was like a video of Trump, and all it was like a rap song attached to a video of Trump. But before I even was allowed to watch it, it was like, this has been fact checked by blah, 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 blah. Like, this video is not real. And then I clicked on it, and that's all it was. And I was kind of like, I mean, obviously this isn't real. But it was interesting because, like, social media is trying to fact check things now. So, pretty cool. But, yeah, I mean, all the information was really cool. I mean, basically everything you talked about was, like, things we learned in our lectures. But the ending was pretty cool too. I mean, I really enjoy taking all your classes, so it was really cool learning a few things about you. Yeah, I really enjoyed this class and the podcast.